As you're aware, East Bank Condo has already signed off on the easement documents. Jim Swanson was in here and did take care of that part of it, so the only thing that was remaining was the Lake Malibu. Again, that's just for the water main part of it. So we sent them the easement documents. They came back and responded with an email to us, which was back on July 6th. And you can kind of see all the different conditions that they were looking at. There's a number of them. So from here, then, I know Mark had met with Stan and Gloria and tried to look at all the conditions, and then there was a follow-up letter that was sent out, and Mark has provided that on the second page of his handout, addressing all the items. Sounds like, the sons or the daughters, the owner's son actually responded back. Mark has been doing some correspondence with Mike, and Mark had talked to him on Thursday, and they're still basically hung up on item number 1E on here, which is the assurance of the water quality and water pressure will be the same or better than when the project is started. So that's kind of where the big hang-up is at this point. I know.
So, in a nutshell, they want the village to guarantee water quality, water pressure throughout the building,
Yep,
right?
yep.
And our response is essentially, we have no idea what the quality of your piping systems are. We're not going to guarantee it, which makes absolute sense. So, at this point, the East Bay condominiums, although, let's be perfectly clear about this, right, isn't costing them anything,
Correct.
right? So this is no cost, just so we're clear, to the owners of East Bay Apartments to have increased water pressure and probably better water quality that the village is fully willing to take on. They have decided that they're not going to sign the easement,
Right.
and that the residents of that building,
It's actually
Then-
Malibu Apartments.
Malibu Apartments.
East Bay
Yeah.
condominiums.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they've already
So the-
signed off, so.
So the East Bank signed off, so then
Yep,
the residents of the Malibu apartment don't get the same water quality, water pressure as their neighbors down at East Bank.
correct.
All right. Personally, I'm done discussing it. What's the cost savings to the village? Was it 28,000?
It seems like it was right around that dollar amount. Let me just take a look here. It's gonna be right around, that $20,000 mark.
Yeah. So I don't understand it, but they've had ample opportunity to sign the easements, and we're not going to delay the project just because
Yeah.
The only,
they feel that there was some type of agreement 50 years ago between the village and.
and as I explained to them in the letter, with them not, if they basically do not agree, do not sign off on it, then basically the water main now will become, that water main
Right.
that runs those two buildings
Yep.
will actually be classified through the water utility in the village as their water service.
Yep.
They will have the 6-inch water service running in those two buildings. The controlling valve will be at Wisconsin and Third. If anything happens, that water main, the water utility or the village will just basically shut that valve off until the main is fixed, just like we do
So-
with water service.
If it freezes up
That's at their cost.
on their property
It's at their cost.
beyond the
Yep.
cutoff that we would
Repairs,
normally
no.
service, it's their cost.
Any repairs from where it leaves, once it passes our valve at Wisconsin and Third, it's their private water service, private water main, and basically they're responsible for all repairs.
And maintenance,
And
any
maintenance.
flushing or whatever, that'll be at their cost.
Are they aware of the subjective nature of what they're asking and
I
wanting?
explained it to him on the phone and everything else, and he goes, well, we've never had a problem so far, which they did, actually, a few years ago. We went and fixed
Yeah,
a leak in that water main when it blew out the end of the pipe, thinking it was village water main. And, We fixed it because we thought it was part of our system. We didn't find out till this project that it was actually, we did not have the easement, so.
I mean, is Mike aware of the subjective nature of what he's asking us to do with
He
180?
told me that they're well aware of it, and he,
There's no way we can tell what is going on inside their
yeah,
building.
that's it. Yep. That's why we will not put a written guarantee on it.
I don't know.
All right, so, done and done, as far as I'm concerned. I'm tired of talking about it, I don't want it to come up again on an agenda. It's $20,000 we don't have to spend. I don't understand the decision, but it is what it is, so let's move on with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting to be that point where we need to start getting the contractor in and start doing some construction.
Yeah, no, well, we're end of July,
Yep,
right?
yep.
We're not even really midsummer right now, we're starting the tail end of summer and nothing's been done down there.
Yeah.
I wasn't here for the first part of it. Kevin, did you give an updated estimate when they're gonna start?
Yep, so basically, not
So
yet.
let's close out 3B. Done? Okay, so then project update.
Yeah, so basically, I've been keeping the contractor informed what's going on, and was looking for an update. I told him that it looks like the Malibu Apartments isn't gonna sign off on the easement, so I was looking for an update. And it looks like they're gonna be starting next week.
Good.
They're gonna start with the East Bank project, and then from there, then they're gonna jump up on Pine and Lakeview Drive.
Okay,
That'll follow right after.
so how long will it take for Lakeview?
From start to finish with all of it up there, you know, from utilities to where we get into the point where we're gonna do restoration, it's about 2.5 months to get through that process.
Up here.
Up on the majority of the project, down on
So
East,
we're August, September, October,
we'll be into October.
before they get over to Pine Street and Lakeview Drive?
No, they're gonna start East Bank. That's only about a week's worth of work.
Okay, gotcha.
Week and a half, and then they're gonna jump up on the other project.
So we're mid-October.
Yep.
Does that give us enough time to get everything done before we start? I mean, what if it runs 4 weeks over? You're now mid-November, you know you're gonna have a freeze
No, we
before
have a-
then.
Then we're gonna have to look at, I mean, I usually like to have asphalt down by the middle of October. October 15th is kind of the drop dead date.
Yeah, right.
So if we get into that point, typically what we do is we'll put the binder course down, the wear course, and then the following spring, we would come back in and do the final course.
So what's the larger of the two projects? I'm assuming,
Pine and Lakeview.
Pine and Lakeview.
so why don't they start there first?
Well, their East Bank has been on us quite a bit because they want to get their paving done. So we've kind of, in the specs, we've actually got a deadline for them to have that completed by. It was July 31st, and I think it's going to be pretty
Anticipated doing
close.
Lakeview, or East Bank last year, so
Yeah,
it's really
Yeah.
a year delay.
And it's not a big especially
now,
with
yeah.
the apartments falling out
Yeah.
of it. It's not going to be a real long, drawn-out project down
okay.
there. Yep. So-
I was, from a timing perspective, right, I actually thought we were gonna start before now.
That's what I mean, we
Right.
had our
This is what I've had a
Pre-construction
few residents up
May.
on Lakeview and Pine ask.
Yep.
You know, so
We
I'm
did-
certain if it runs into a overwinter, early spring project, we're gonna have a few unhappy residents within the village.
I mean, we do have,
It'll be done, it'll be done.
I
Yeah,
think there
It'll
is,
be done.
yeah, there is
Right.
timelines in the contracts, and if
Okay.
they go over that, then there's liquidated damages.
Yeah,
But
it'll be
I've got
done.
I'm
confidence
just a
too.
regulatory guy.
We did send out a letter to all the residents after the last Public Works meeting, just to let people know,
Yeah.
you know, where we're at.
So then, will they be notified when the project's gonna start, or
Actually,
equipment just shows up and,
actually, what we had in the letter is pretty close to when they're gonna be up there.
okay.
Yep.
Good.
So I think we're gonna be good on that part of it. So, any other questions?
Nope. Is that it for,
At this point.
okay. Perfect. Item number 4, 2016 Public Works Budget.
What I gave you was a handout, basically, of the projected year ends and the budget for 16, budget request for 16. There's a few places in it that they have some question marks because we're still working on some items within the budget, as far as capital project. Basically, Kevin and I were unable to meet in July because of Kevin had some conflicts regarding that storm sewer project, possible storm sewer project in 2016, so we're gonna be meeting here and have that data for you for the next Public Works meeting. The other items we have that are large items on this, in this budget for next year is the possible replacing of the 1997 International, which is our large plow truck. We're working at a couple different things there. We actually had a company, one of my personnel actually talked to City of Hudson, and they had their rep that just purchased or just sold them a truck, bring a $190,000 plow truck up to the village garage, and it sat there for a couple days, and basically we finally, it's going back tomorrow. Because there's no way I can justify trying to get a $109,000 plow truck in the village. I know the funds ain't gonna be there for it. There's a couple issues we're looking at. Number one is, right now, basically, as far as trade-in value on the 97 International, we're being told it's probably only worth roughly around $5,000. Because of what shape she's in, stuff like that, the age, not being equipped like the more modern trucks are and stuff like that. We are looking at some other things. Basically, the City of Hudson has one truck that they just purchased, a large plow truck, to replace a truck that they have over there existing now, which is in pretty decent shape. And from what we're told, that they may consider offering that to the village if we were interested in it. Also been looking, you can possibly pick up some other trucks, older ones with similar plow trucks, wing capacity, stuff like that, or exterior wings, for actually plowing more.
So Mark, where's that on this? What item is that on this?
Actually, it's actually in, if you go back into this actual form,
Okay.
you're gonna,
Page 23.
page 23, you're gonna see it as a question mark about the plow truck. I'm still working on trying to get the data in on that, trying to figure out, we're not having a lot of, it seems like everybody you really want to talk to, they want us to try to sell us the $190,000 trucks, which are the trucks that are equipped that most municipalities are getting, but for the village, I don't know if we want to spend that much money on a truck.
Well, I will again raise the subject that I've raised a number of times in the past, and I think there is a way to get a $190,000 plow truck into the village, and that is to have it owned by the City of Hudson, and we cooperate with them in snow plowing. I again encourage us to consider a contractual arrangement with the City of Hudson to utilize the large capital investment that they have in equipment and personnel to expand their services and get a better utilization of their equipment by contracting with the village to also provide snow plowing services for us. I think this is a subject that deserves serious exploration. We cooperate with the city on a number of services, and it just seems to me that there are economies of scale that are available for both the village and the city to utilize the equipment if there is some cooperation and consideration given to how that might work. I don't have the blueprint of what that would look like, but I am strongly in favor of serious consideration of discussion
What's
to
our,
see if that would be a possibility.
yeah. So currently, we're contracted with Zappa.
Yep. And that current contract is up at the end of next month, so that's the other thing I was gonna
Right.
bring up.
And they've
Part of
got,
this is,
I forget, what was it, Summer Street North, or what was,
basically, they plow all the cul-de-sacs using a payloader, which same, similar to what City Hudson does. Then they do everything Summer Street, north part of the village,
yep,
and we do the southern
okay.
half of the village.
So remind me, Mark, what's our, what are we spending with Zappa Brothers?
Basically, you guys budgeted for, contractor snow removal, you budgeted $30,000 last year.
Do we spend all of it?
So far, out of that budget for this year, you spent $6,320 according to that. You'll see it,
We
it's
spent
actually,
how-
it's actually on page 20.
How much did we spend over?
According year to date, according to this, is $6,320.
Wasn't that bad of a snow year.
No?
That's out of 30,000 budgeted though.
No. You have to remember, they also have personnel that are out salting during nights and everything else in place of our personnel, and there's, oh. If you look at the year before that, and you see what what we actually paid them back in 2014, that's $39,850.
So for that particular contract, do we put it out for an RFP?
That was why I was gonna be asking you guys, the next part of this discussion is when that contract's up, how do you want me to put it out? Do you want me to put it out for advertised bids? Do you want, like Daryl said, do you want me to talk to the city? Do you know?
So if I understand the situation properly, we spent approximately $34,000, right? $4,000 over budget last year with Zappa. They don't necessarily have the proper equipment for snow removal,
But what, no.
correct?
We spent 6,320.
Oh, so it's even higher, 36.
No,
No. Not 36, 6.
63.
Oh, out of the 30.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said we spent
That's for this year's.
$6,000 over, that's why I was asking.
No.
It wasn't a bad snow year.
No.
All right, so we spent 6,500
Yeah.
with Zappa. Gotcha. I'm following. This thing's confusing me.
But if you look the year before that, we spent, back in 2014, and you look at 2013, you know, those were more average
Right.
years of snow removal.
Gotcha.
Last year was us, you know, and they're saying it's a Nemo this year, so we might have another one. Be nice to have two.
So you're saying you need a new plow, truck,
Yeah, tractors, they have plows going, trucks going.
for, I'm on page 23. I'm looking at capital vehicles.
That's what I said, there's a question mark there, because number one, you know, I have to,
So what are you're requesting 32,000? That's what you're thinking?
for what, for a truck?
Yeah.
Well, right now, I'm asking if we're gonna have I'm believing in August, when Kevin and I come back with the water, with the storm sewer thing and everything else, I think we're gonna have we'll have more of a grasp of what we're looking at. But I'd kinda also and I'm glad Daryl said what he did and stuff like that, and I'm kinda looking for the input for you guys. Do you want me to sit there pricing larger trucks, or do you wanna try to pick up something smaller, or, you know?
So why wouldn't we talk to Hudson?
We can do both. We can talk to Hudson, we can talk to Zappas, we can advertise out, we can do all of them, actually.
So I like Daryl's suggestion, let's talk with Hudson.
See if they're interested.
I would actually like to be a part of that discussion.
Okay.
And see if they're interested in bidding out the snow removal contract for next year.
What was the objection the year before?
We actually tried 2 years ago. At that time, they felt they didn't have enough equipment to be able to do it and everything else, and they thought that the city needed to come first,
So, okay, so we didn't do it because they couldn't.
basically.
And why isn't Zappa covering the whole of the village? Is he just unable to?
No, it's basically, like I said, he's doing cul-de-sacs with the payloaders, stuff like that. He's also doing, and they also cover us at nights and weekends for actually sending somebody else to doing it when the officers just need street salted. You know, instead of having somebody from Public Works coming in and doing it. They do that. Actually, Zappa's, they told me twice, they're more than willing to, actually take it on all themselves. Actually, just, basically have us plow during the days when we're working, and they'll do nights and evenings. I've been told they're willing to do that.
Explain to me again, Mark, why you think we need a new truck?
Basically,
Because the other
because
ones,
97 is
Right.
basically, that's on its last leg. We've spent a lot of money in her last year getting her, I should say this year getting her, to be able to even be roadworthy.
Where is that in the budget? Is that under a maintenance of some kind?
Nope, yeah, it's basically under, it would be under,
I would agree with what Mark just indicated
Public
as
Works
far as the
equipment.
capital asset and the quality of that truck.
I'm sorry.
I've
Darryl,
watched,
I'd
I've
like to-
watched it over the years.
Can I get my answer to my question first from him, please? Where is it?
as far as in the budget,
Yeah, the money that we spent getting that vehicle up to speed last year.
it'd be, you'd have to go under the page.
Page 19. Repair maintenance vehicles.
Yep, most of that was spent this on the international, and that was
So we spent 2,000.
so far this year, and then you also spent,
10,000 in 2014.
yeah.
That was all vehicles.
Yep,
How many vehicles?
well, we have five vehicles at the garage. Largest expense came off of the international, plus you have to also remember, part of the, repair maintenance on that vehicle actually comes out of the snow removal budget too, as far as the plow, the sand, all that comes out of the snow removal operating supplies.
so what did we spend on total repairs for vehicles on 5 vehicles?
On 5 vehicles, let's see,
10,415, it looks like in
yep,
2014.
2014.
And
So
this
far,
year.
we're at 210 so far this year. You have to remember, we have, 2 newer trucks. We have the 14 and the 10, which are the newer trucks.
In that $2,000 for 2015, that was all spent on the old truck?
Basically, majority was spent on the old truck.
And out of the 10,450 for 14, how much was spent on the old truck?
I want to say probably better than half.
So we spent about $7,000 over 2 years maintaining the truck.
Okay, thanks.
Does that answer
That answers my
the question?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then the options are basically 3. Well, I guess we have, 3.
We can do
It's-
what we've been doing.
Keep doing what we've been doing. Contract out with Hudson for the proper size or buy a new vehicle. Right? And if you're gonna contract out, it's gonna be 30,000+ minimum in the budget. It's probably gonna be similar for a new truck, but you've got the maintenance of it going forward and the capital depreciation of it.
Unless you go with a larger vehicle where you're going to spend even more, like I said.
Right.
The more modern plow trucks, you're looking 150 plus.
You seriously wanna take that to
Yeah.
budgets?
I know I won't
Can't
make
put
it.
150,000 in for a truck. I'll watch Public Works head explode. All right. So I think, we need to talk with Hudson and see what they're, and you guys are more than willing, I'd like to actually sit in and listen to this discussion.
Only one of you can, because if more than one of you show up, it's an illegal meeting, so.
All right, so
Let us know when you find out.
schedule a night. I'll send you a email of nights I'm available.
Yeah, I'll talk to Tom Zoli, and I'm sure he's gonna want somebody from his public works department there, or somebody from his public
Okay.
works committee there.
Daryl, what are your thoughts?
I expressed them.
Okay. So what else on the budget?
The other big issue was, like I said, the snow removal contract. Like I said, it is expiring, so I was just gonna ask if how you wanted me to go out for bids and everything else, but the way it's coming, it sounds, initially we'll talk to Hudson and then go from there.
What else is expiring before December?
As far as contracts,
Yep.
I'm not aware of anything right now, but I can double check.
So it's, as far as you know, it's only snow removal?
So as far as I know, it's snow removal.
And it's just Mark's part, right?
What?
And it's only Mark, or Zappa's part, I should say.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, the contract is Zappa Brothers, right?
I suppose if it gets slowed down, we should look at doing a month to month while we're looking. But we don't get snow till earliest is end of October, right?
Yeah, well, we have to get something in place for the budget, so.
Right. That's it'll be done by November.
Yep.
Okay.
So what happens to the 18,000 that we're not gonna spend on the, apartment complex? Where's that go? 'Cause that was budgeted.
Yeah, initially it was gonna go to help pay for the catch basin repairs, which have been completed. And that way it would save money in the current, storm sewer replacement fund.
So where does that money get allocated back to?
I would say it'd go back to where initially we had it. To have it actually go towards the catch basins, that way it will, not as much money will be taken out of the storm sewer utility fund.
Yep.
To help build that up for next year.
Thoughts on that, Daryl?
No, I mean,
Is that correct?
that's correct.
Okay. So how do we make sure that that happens?
I will talk to Gloria.
Okay.
Sure, she'll be happy to hear it.
I'm here to make her happy.
But I won't have a chance to talk to her until next Wednesday, because I'm not here until then. I'm on
That's fine.
vacation starting tonight. so.
Anything else in the budget?
Only if you guys have any questions on what I gave you.
So
I'll go through it and we'll sit there and.
so excluding the potential truck or snow removal contract, I added up 9,050 additional spend for the budget.
Over last year's?
Yep. Is that right?
All right.
Do we know what the total projected for this year is? It'd be nice to have those totals on.
Basically is what we'll do. We'll have that for you. I give this to Gloria. Basically, she got it tonight, so she'll probably have it ready for me about next week. And if you want, we can have it sent to you. She does it all by the,
Just, yeah.
because biggest thing is, a lot of the stuff that's up above, as far as, top of your sheet, top of 19, all that stuff basically is all done in the, treasurer's office and everything else, where we sit as far as wages and overtime and all that stuff.
Okay.
And then there's some other things that are actually in the Public Works budget that I have no control of, like, garbage.
Right.
That's in our budget for some reason, but I have no control over that because it's all contracted.
I just would like to see the total of the
Yep.
projected for this year versus what we're budgeting
Yeah,
for next
like I
year.
said, there's with so many holes in there that I actually don't have control of, even though it's in the Public Works
So
thing.
Gloria can get
But
it.
Gloria
All
can
right.
put them all together, once she has the actual numbers herself.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. Usually in the August meeting, because I look back last year in the August meeting, I gave you guys the large budget packet. And basically that had pretty much everything that was getting ready to go to the next budget meeting, or the
Okay.
first budget meeting.
Okay.
And now we have to make sure it all gets sent to your new tablets, so you guys
It's
don't
just,
have to have paper anymore.
Just put it on the website.
yeah.
Yep.
Daryl, any more discussion on the budget?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Item number 5, engineers report.
The only thing that I have is, if you remember, we were looking at applying for the DOT's Surface Transportation Program. That funding application is out. It's due by the end of the month here. So we're working on that. Gloria will be submitting that by July 31st, and that would be for the Wisconsin Street part. So from 3rd to 6th Street. We'll be applying for design and construction funds with this round, so.
When's the last time we did this? We do it every year?
No, it's every like 4 years
Yeah, I
it
was
comes
thinking
out.
3 or 4, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep, so,
And we got it last time, but we didn't use it.
correct. The design funds, we had to release that back, so thinking we'll have a good shot at getting both with this round,
Okay.
design and construction, so.
Good.
Other than that, that's all I have.
Director's report?
The only thing I had is that some of you might have noticed that we had a big hole dug in Michelson Street.
Yeah, what was that? I came
We
by
had a
and I
water
saw
main
it.
break.
It was right after the heavy rains, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was right after having, what happened at Sunday and everything else, but it had nothing to do with that. Basically, what we had is we had a water main break actually, a water main actually shear. It was a clean break.
Yeah.
Basically, it almost looked like what you'd get with a frost heave. What we think it might have been is with all the flushing that we've been doing and everything else, it might have actually created some water hammer in the main
Sure.
and created it to snap.
Any residents affected by it?
Everybody stayed in pressure and everything else. The leak actually showed up on a Sunday afternoon. We fixed it on Tuesday because that Monday it rained all day. Everything else, so we fixed it on that Tuesday. Nobody actually lost water pressure.
Nobody got flooded?
But I'm still waiting for the bill for it, so, because it was an emergency repair, so.
Anything else, Mark?
That's all I have.
Future agenda items, definitely let's get on, hopefully for next month, the snow removal contract. Then I'm assuming that, in short order, we'll probably start having special finance meetings for, when's that usually hit, Daryl? September?
Oh, the budget review?
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Yeah, I think next month will be our last month for actually us doing budget here, and then
and then Mark, I would just, as you look at your increases of $9,000, think about what you can and cannot live with, right? What's worth dying on the sword for and what's not? Because everybody's gonna be asking.
well, I've been being told.
Any other future agenda items from committee members? Daryl?
No,
All right.
you covered it.
Item number 8, adjournment. It is 6:34, and we are adjourned. Thank you. I did not.